Good morning and welcome to Shoot the Shit with DSP. I'm DSP, David Scott Peters, and I'm here for you today. Missed you last week. Last week, what was I? No, did we do last week? No, last week I was racing in San Diego. I'm trying to figure it all out. It's all just a blur anymore. Last week was Pizza Expo, Bar and Restaurant Expo, food poisoning, and a few races in San Diego. So it was quite the whirlwind. So getting back into the office this week, if you're an entrepreneur, which you are, you know the feeling. You take a little time away from the office, you are a little behind. But caught back up. I'm excited to be here with Shoot the Shit with DSP. Let's see who has joined us this morning. We've got a bunch of people already saying good morning. I've got Steve Eller in the house saying good morning. Good morning, Steve Eller. It is good to have you, my friend. Ian McCall is in the house. Happy Friday, all. Happy Friday to you. Yeah, happy Friday to you. I still have a couple of your beers on my refrigerator downstairs, I noticed the other day. Vapor X, aka Mastermind's in the house. Good morning from Obi-Wan. Yeah. Now I don't know if I'd be Obi-Wan. I don't think I want to be the dead guy. I think I want to be somebody else. I'm not sure. Let me think about that one. I love Star Wars. Mary De Leon is in the house. Good morning to you. I hope you have found that new coffee shop is working out, and that is good. Chicago Jose at Chicago Taco Authority. Have not talked to you in a while. It feels like good morning, David. Good morning to you, Jose. It is good to have you. We've got, let's see who else has joined us here. We've got Gario. Hello, and good morning to you, my friend. Glad to have you. We're going to get started here in just a second. If you have not figured it out, maybe we got people chatting with me this morning because they've logged into their YouTube account or their Google account. Synonymously the same thing. That allows you to participate in the chat. Because remember, I'm going to teach, and then I'm going to open it up for your questions, your discussion. I'm here for you. Every Friday, travel schedule permitting. Last Friday did not permit. This Friday, here we are. We've got one more. Bruce Landy's in the house. What's going on, Bruce? Hope things are going for you. Good morning, he says, David. Good morning to you. It is good to have you back in the live, the STS with DSP. Let us move some things along here and get started. Welcome to Shoot the Shit with DSP. STS with DSP happens every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, live on YouTube, travel schedule permitting. We're going to invest about 30 minutes out of your day to get pumped about the upcoming week and get excited about crushing your goals and finding the motivation to be the best you possible. Plus, I'll answer your burning questions. I'm David Scott Peters, creator of the Restaurant Prosperity Formula and your coach. And as a reminder, make sure you're logged into your Google account, your YouTube account, synonymously the same thing, so you can participate in the chat like the group of people just did this morning. Let's get started. Let me hit you with a hard truth. I'm going to hit you with a hard truth right out of the gate. If you don't know your numbers weekly, you're not running your restaurant. You're guessing. And guessing is expensive. I just got back from Pizza Expo and Bar and Restaurant Expo. Had a great week. Four talks. I had a master class in there. It was phenomenal. I got to hear directly one-on-one with people who don't know me, people who do know me, and after presentations, discussions would happen. And I heard the same thing over and over again. This month got away from me. I didn't realize how bad it was until the P&L came in. No. You didn't get surprised. You ignored the scoreboard. You don't lose in the month. You lose in the week. You just don't feel it yet. A P&L is a history book. Weekly numbers, the real-time control. That's real-time control. When you track weekly, food cost creeps up this week, you fix it this week. Labor spikes, you adjust it immediately. That's how pros operate. Let's simplify this. Here's your minimum scoreboard every week. Sales, cost of goods sold, labor cost, prime cost. That's it. If you don't have those numbers weekly, you're guessing. Your number one job every Monday, calculate your prime cost. Not monthly, weekly. because this number tells you immediately, are you making money or working harder to lose it? Here's your move. Pull last week's sales, calculate your cost of goods sold, calculate your labor cost fully loaded with taxes, benefits, insurance, add them together, divide it by sales. That's your prime cost. Now, here's where most of you screw this up. You might create that report. You may have that dashboard, if you will. You know your prime cost, you're looking at it. And what do? You look at it and go, interesting. No, it's either on target or it's not. Let me tell you what I see all the time. David, my food cost is out of control. We look at the numbers. Food costs in line. Labor, out of control. You're not losing money on what you're buying. You're losing money on who you're scheduling. And because you're not looking weekly, you're fixing the wrong problem. Here's another one. I'm running a 30% food cost. We start tracking weekly. It's 36%. Nothing changed. Same team, same menu. The only thing that changed, we stopped guessing. We started measuring. That's 6%? That's the difference between profit and pain. Now let's take it further. If your prime cost is 62%, is that good? Bad? You don't know? Without a target, a number is meaningless. This is where your weekly manager meeting comes in. In restaurants that win, managers don't walk in saying, yeah, felt busy. They walk in with numbers. Here are our sales. Here's our prime cost. Here's where we missed. Now we can fix something. Because you can't fix feelings. You can only fix facts. Let's call it what it is. If you wait until the end of the month, you already lost. That's like stepping on the scale after 30 days of eating crap and saying, wow, I didn't see that coming. Yeah, you did. You just didn't measure. And let me leave you with this. Prime cost isn't your problem. It's your scoreboard. And yelling at the scoreboard, well, that doesn't fix the game. Your habits fix the game. How you schedule, how you order, how you train. Your numbers are just telling you the truth. So here's your challenge. By Monday, if you're not doing this already, you calculate your prime cost. And you decide, what am I changing this week to move this number? Because if nothing changes, nothing changes. And if you're sitting there thinking, I don't even know what my number should be, that's exactly why I put together my seminar. Las Vegas, May 13th and 14th. We go deep into what your numbers should be, how to calculate them, and how to actually hit them. Because knowing your numbers is step one. Winning them, that's a system. Stop guessing. Start leading. Your numbers are talking to you every week. The only question is, are you listening? Now, to learn more about the seminar, I want you to go to davidscottpeters.com. Upper right-hand side, click on the live seminar link and learn more. I can tell you this. You can attend for as little as $499 a seat. If you don't go home and get 10 times return on your investment, your full investment of flying to Vegas, staying in Vegas, learning what you're learning, and go home and do something with it, you didn't listen. It's a powerful, powerful 2-day seminar. I have been conducting seminars and workshops for 23 years. Nobody does what I do. But I don't care what I do. I care what you do. And as we talked about, the mic drop for all of my members, workshop attendees, anybody I meet, read my book, Restaurant Prosperity Formula. My goal for you is a weekly prime cost budget variance report. Because when you see a problem today, you can fix it today. Instead of waiting for a monthly P&L, 15, 30 days in the next period, 60 days, 90 days. and you can't change the past? Give me a weekly snapshot. If my food cost is high, we can talk to the kitchen manager or chef, and we can what? Put some features out that are high cash contributors, low food cost, and pull my food cost back in line. Now, I have 3 weeks to fix it. If my labor costs out of control, I can make tiny little changes over the next 3 weeks without giving up guest satisfaction, killing product ticket times, or giving bad service, and slowly bring my numbers back into line instead of waiting till it's over before it's too late. And the truth of the matter is, I'd love to tell you I've got every one of my members giving me a weekly prime cost budget variance report. But the reality is, it takes time to get there. You have to have the right systems in place. You have to have the right managers in place. And you have to be the leader your restaurant needs to hold people accountable to those numbers and those systems. But man, when that shit's in place, life is good. I'd love to see you in Las Vegas, May 13th and 14th. Go to davidscottpeters.com, click on the live seminar link, and register today. There's also a VIP offer there if you want to see me and my team, have a P&L review, have a group coaching call before we get there, and attend our VIP social on night one. I'm buying the booze. Love to see you there. All right then. Let us get to your questions. It is now your time with me. We have, looks like Seafront Baking Company's in the house. Deja Wakefield. Good morning, Deja. It is awesome to have you. I love when you guys are on this call. All right, we've got a group of you on here. It's about a 15, 20-second delay, so I'm going to stretch a little bit. Give you an opportunity right now to make sure you're logged into your Google account, your YouTube account, synonymously the same thing, and you can participate in the chat. Give me a question about anything. If I don't know it, I'm going to tell you I don't know. Maybe we'll go learn together. If it's something I can help you with, I will dive in. Got a question about the seminar or the workshop, or want to learn about membership? Make sure you scan that QR code and get on a call with Ryan James. Ian McCall says, ISM will be there and will bring beer. That is awesome. So who you feeding beer to? Is Mark McShaffrey showing up again? Because, I'd like to make sure he stays sober in the room. But I digress. It'll be great to have you in there. Who are you bringing this time? Who's coming? Who are you getting to drink the Kool-Aid? And, I'm going to create a new AI photo of you. I'll use you as an example somehow. All right, who else is coming to the seminar? Let me know in the comments here. Jose says, what's your take on Cisco buying out Restaurant Depot? What is my take? It's just another revenue stream for them. Restaurant Depot fills a very specific niche. Last minute or small unit operators. Last minute product, I need something, can't drive all the way to Cisco. It's a 3-hour turnaround for wheel call. Man, I know there's someplace I can get a pretty good product. In theory, if you combine Restaurant Depot and Cisco's tonnage, prices should come down. Because now it's all this buying power, plus all this buying power, they start to pick some of the same products. It can only help an operator. Now, I will tell you that I don't want you going to a Restaurant Depot. I want you ordering directly from Cisco. But that's not always possible. Things happen, things change. You want a small delivery and you can't get it. Or you need last minute something. And again, small restaurants, $400,000, $500,000 restaurants sometimes need to go there out of necessity in the early days because they can't get a minimum drop. But I think it's going to be a win for most restaurants. That's my 2 cents. Ian says, when calculating weekly prime costs for a brew pub, should I back out malt and hop inventory? So the short answer is technically no, right? Because for you and those of you who are brew pubs, understand that I'm going to answer a question that was not asked. Where should my prime cost be? I'm about to go speak at the Crafts Brewer Convention because of Ian prodding me to reach out and be there. And I already know from the organizers that one of the questions that are going to happen in my seminars, where should my prime cost be as a brew pub? It's still 55%. See, the difference is a brew pub and a brewery, my labor is going to be pretty high because I got a brewer and I got an assistant brewer and I might have another assistant in there and I've got all this other things that need to happen, but the cost of goods sold is extremely low. And so that balance should be made up. So I would tell you that, well, again, when we're calculating prime cost, since we're taking use, it doesn't matter the inventory, right? Because it's beginning inventory plus purchases minus ending inventory gives me use. Use divided by sales is cost of goods sold. That is the same for food costs, bottled beer, draft beer, wine, liquor, which includes your brewery. So all the additional purchases and all the beer that's in bright tanks and kegs and all the malt sitting in the warehouse and all the hops and what have you need, they're an asset. So they'll be calculated as how much money are sitting on my shelves on my balance sheet. So in theory, Ian, the question is it shouldn't affect anything. Does that clearly answer your questions, or did you have a different question and I answered the wrong one? Let me know. Ian's already back and says, I'm bringing one of my kitchen leads, Jimmy, and a front of house lead, Lalo. Fantastic. They're going to drink the Kool-Aid. It is timed, and maybe we'll find ourselves with a walking beer. Those of you who don't know, Ian introduced me to, there's such thing as a walking beer. In Vegas, you got to have a walking beer. I didn't know that. Now I know. And oh, by the way, it's not just a small beer. It's a tall boy. You got to have a tall boy walking beer. That's how you get through Fremont Street. Anyway. All right. How we doing on time? We've got time. It is now time again for your questions. I'm going to stretch a little bit and see if anybody has anything. I won't stay here any longer than you guys want me here today. Let me just verify that I have a STS next week. Let's see here. Go into my calendar. Now that's Gmail. Let's go to calendar. There is a Shoot the Shit next Friday. And it looks like the next 2 Fridays. In fact, the next 3 Fridays. Son of a bitch. I tell you what. There is a STS the next 3 Fridays. Ian says here, yes, that makes sense. We are only taking inventories monthly in the brewery. Yeah, so I would tell you your workaround is if you're using the restaurant checkbook Guardian for buying grain, we might be able to use that raw pour cost in the far right-hand column. We might be able to do that. Question is, how difficult would it be to take weekly inventory? That's my real answer. In a perfect world, if you want to really control it, we're going to have to take inventory. Now, I don't think it's like your food inventory was, where it takes hours. Now it takes nothing. How hard would it be to train our restaurant management team to take the beer inventory? It's a task. And give it to the brewer to make sure it's accurate. We could teach our bartenders to. So I would push, as I'm thinking out loud, can we get a weekly inventory? Tell me how it can be done, not why it can't be done. But we may determine it takes too much time, it's too inaccurate, juice ain't worth the squeeze. Then if that is the case, what we may do in the other weekly manager meetings is pull beer and beer sales completely out and give a different prime cost target. I don't like it though. But we could. There's always a way to get there. VaporX, aka Mastermind, says, how will AI impact the restaurant coaching world? How will AI impact the restaurant coaching world? Well, I'm going to tell you, I don't see any negative in it. In fact, I see a positive. I'm going to give you a long story long. So I think what you're getting at is, Hey, am I worried about AI taking my job? Nope, not at all. Not one effing bit. When I started 23 years ago, I was the only restaurant coach. Just me. The other, what would have been a competitor, which was an ally and a great friend, is Jim Laub at restaurantowner.com. We did the same thing. We helped the independent operator with systems. Difference is, restaurantowner.com has a library full of everything that you need. But if you don't know what you're looking for, you'll never find it. And if you need help with it, every now and then you'd make a phone call and Jim or someone on his team would potentially help you, but most people never got to that stage. So you had to know what you're looking for. Instead, I said, I'm going to tell you what systems you need to put in place. I'm going to give you that system. I'm going to teach you that system. Then I'm going to hold your ass accountable to that system. Different world. As time went on, we started to see more marketing coaches and in the restaurant space, and then restaurant coaches. A couple of them popped up here or there. And now today on Instagram, Facebook, on your TikTok feed, you're getting bombarded. Everybody and their grandmother is a restaurant coach. I don't think that's a bad thing. I can also tell you back in the day, I used to sell the information that I teach today in a set of manuals for thousands of dollars. Now I give that away for free almost on a daily basis. Here, live on YouTube, in my book, basically for free for $15. Same information, damn near for free, but yet I'm still here. Why? Because I'm going to tell you what the system is. I'm going to teach you the system. I'm going to hold your ass accountable. So now we have AI. Getting to your question, am I concerned about AI in restaurant coaching? Hell no. I teach my members to use AI. I teach them how to use it to create training systems, to explore questions. They teach me all the time how it takes their menu and helps them create catering menus with the food products they have on hand and so on. It is masterfully powerful. In fact, I'll tell you at some point in time, I plan on building a DSP bot for my members inside my member site. What would DSP say? What it won't replace is the one-on-one conversation. The ability for me to truly find out what your pain is. To truly push your buttons the right way. See, AI is going to, they're going to kiss your ass. Oh, I understand it's difficult, and feed you a crock of shit that you're the most wonderful person in the world. And I understand why you didn't get something done. It's okay. I may not. But while I may not, I'm going to take the time to help you get there. Long answer for, no, I'm not concerned at all. AI is merely a tool, and it is a tool that every restaurant owner should embrace. And by God, yes, if you think you got an idea, something to do, ask ChatGPT. It knows a shit ton. But what it can't do is be one-on-one, the way that me or my team can with you. Hopefully that answers your question. The Walter Brewing Company 9131 says, I am a production brewery who is transforming to a brew pub. Right now, we are depending on food trucks, which are extremely unreliable. We are working on building a pizza kitchen. That's fantastic. I can tell you, I'm not a fan of tap rooms bringing in food trucks because you have number one, you have no control if the food is good. You have no control if they piss off your guests. You have a revenue center that you can't control. There's a lot of you can't control. And I want control, and I also want the revenue, but I'm going to tell you that you got to make sure you have your ducks in a row because you're about to enter into the restaurant space, which means if, let's say, in the beginning, your brewery is still 80% of your sales, you could very well bleed so much your profitability in labor. It'll look fine because your brewery sales are going to offset the kitchen sales and make the kitchen labor look really small. But Your food costs is going to be out of control. Your labor costs can be out of control. So I want you to make sure you set yourself up for success. I want you to make sure we set a menu that is simple in the beginning. So I'll give you, for instance, Deja Wakefield, one of my member mentors, longtime member who's on this live right now, Seaquake Brewing in California. Started out as exactly what you're doing. It was a brewery, and then they saw as a tap room that was added to the brewery, they needed some food, they added pizza. And next thing you know, they are an incredible restaurant. Multi-million dollars in sales in restaurant. And the brewery's still kicking ass, and it's got off-premise sales and production and all the things it needs, but it's a by God restaurant now. But it started with pizza. So make sure your pizza's fantastic, but I want you to be prepared for the growth. I want you to know that it is a different space when you start adding these new employees to your world. But congratulations, that is awesome. VaporX, aka Mastermind, says, adapt or die, baby. Well, I added the baby. Right, exactly, adapt or die. Not concerned at all with AI. It is a tool. It's going to change our world. It already is. It's harness the power. How are we doing on time? We've got probably time for one more question. We still have a ton of you on here. If you've got a question, this is your last minute opportunity to type it, throw a comment in, what have you. Again, want to learn about membership? Click on that QR code, aka take a picture of it, bring your camera roll up, whatever the hell. However this technology works, get on a call with Ryan James. Want to learn about my 2-day seminar coming up May 13th and 14th? Go to davidscottpeters.com, upper right-hand side, click on live seminar link. We would love to see you there. I will tell you, not going is a bad decision. And I've been doing this for 23 years. Nobody is going to give you what I give you in 2 days that can truly transform your restaurant and your life. Big claim. I'll meet it. All right, that's it. I guess that is the end of STS with DSP. I will see you next week here live on YouTube, travel schedule permitting. But we know next week, the next, and the next, I'll be sitting in this chair. I've got one last thing up here. Ian says, thanks for the kick in the ass. You're welcome, brother. Get that inventory done. Peace, everybody. Go out there, kick some ass. We'll talk to you later.